The topic for today's video, all things immunization. We've had a few changes in one chart with documentation for immunizations, and so we wanted to take this opportunity to not only show you those things, but also to review the process. We've had some questions lately, and so we just want to be sure everyone's on the same page. For my example today, I'm going to start on the orders page. The orders for my immunizations have already been placed, either by the provider or the clinical staff. It doesn't matter who enters the order as long as the order gets entered. We do want to mention on orders, when you're ordering immunizations, you should, if possible, pick the immunization order that is for the name brand that you have in your clinic. So the purpose of this, the reason that this is good is in the future, if there were ever recalls or things were deemed to be not effective, it's going to be better if we know exactly what name brand was given. So if that's possible, go ahead and pick the name brand order. You might want to change your favorites. Maybe in the beginning you picked all the generics. Go back, based on what you have in your clinic, it'll make it easier to add to your favorites. Once the order's been placed, the person who's giving the immunizations will give those immunizations, and then they need to also go to activities and interventions to document what they gave. The documentation here is very important because that's how the patient's chart gets updated. It's also how the billing is done. If all that ever happens is that the orders are placed, then the patient doesn't get billed, their chart doesn't get updated. So the order is placed, and we go to activities and interventions for those tasks. If you give the immunization and then when you look at the task, you notice that the immunization you gave does not match the order. Maybe there was, maybe there was a shortage. Maybe you didn't have something in stock that was ordered. Whatever it is, whatever the reason is, it's important that you don't complete the wrong task. If this is not the immunization that I gave and I go in and complete it as if I did, not only is the patient's chart going to be wrong, but also the insurance is going to be billed for the wrong thing. So it's important that we don't document the wrong thing. If this were not the right order, I can right click and I can say chart not done, pick my exception. I'm going to say unnecessary at this point. And it could be vaccine shortage, whatever is the reason. I can put a comment in here, and then I'm going to complete that. Then I'm going to go back into my orders section and put in the correct order. I not only am going to get rid of the wrong order, but I'm going to complete the good order. Just so that everything matches. I'm documenting what I gave. So in this circumstance, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to document this immunization. This way I'm going to be able to show you the new fields and things that have changed. One thing to point out, first thing that has not changed, but we always need to be sure to do, is to put in an administration order, or administration, pick one, and then also pick from the immunization. If we don't put things in these fields, then we're not going to be billing the patient. And we don't want to be giving away free immunizations. So we always need to put something in these two boxes. Lot number, this hasn't changed. We're always going to fill in our lot number. We're always going to fill in our manufacturer and our expiration date. Nothing's changed there. A new field that we have for pediatric patients only is funding source. The purpose of this field is to allow us to send information over to the Kansas Registry of Immunizations. Right now we're sending them without this field, but very soon they're going to require this field. So we've added it into one chart and we've made it required. The good news is there are only 2 of these funds that we'll be documenting. The first will be state funds. If the immunization that you gave is from your VFC stock, and I know not all of your clinics do VFC, but if you do VFC and the immunization you gave was from that stock, you'll pick state funds. For everyone else, you'll pick private funds. So for your, any kind of patient with insurance other than somebody who qualifies for VFC, you'll use private funds. Vaccine for children has not changed. About a year or so ago, we sent out an email that talked about when you use each of these options on vaccine for children. Just as a quick review, you use Medicaid when the patient is under 19 and is on Title 19 Medicaid insurance. We do not use Native American or Alaskan. Uninsured or not insured is when the patient doesn't qualify for VSC because they have other, oh no, I'm sorry. That's not insured. Not insured is just that patient that doesn't have private insurance and they're less than 19 and they qualify for Title 19. Not qualified is what I tried to say before, is going to be for anybody who you're not giving VFC to. They don't qualify, they're not on Medicaid, they have other insurance. We don't use underinsured. Unique state program are for those people who are on the Title 21 CHIP program. So if they're on that program, we'd use unique state program, and then unknown we are not currently using. Again, nothing has changed here. I'm just reviewing those. So if you had questions about those, you can let somebody know. Site is also required, has always been required. Notice I'm not able to sign my documentation yet. The reason for that is there is still one required field on this form that we haven't filled in. In this case, and it will depend on your screen size, what you see and what you don't see, I need to scroll down and I see that my VFC statement is now required. It's required that we give this statement, and it's required that we document it, so we've made this field required. In this case, I would pick from this list which VFC I gave, which VIS statement I gave this patient. And then I can sign my documentation. In some cases, like on varicella, there's only one VIS to pick from, so the field fills in automatically, so you won't have to pick something there. We hope that this has been meaningful. We hope that you now understand the new field that we have entered. We hope that it's just a good review of anything that you may have had questions on immunizations. If you do have further questions, please feel free to contact anyone on this list. Contact the liaison in your area. They'll know more of the specifics of what you do at your clinic, and ask the questions there. Ask your informaticist. They're in your clinics on a regular basis, or you've got their email. You can call them. If all else fails, call me or send me an email, teresawilliams@ascension.org. I'd be happy to answer your question. Immunizations is a big deal. Patient safety, patients being their charts correct, and also billing. So we want to be sure we're doing it right. Hopefully we've reviewed everything that you need to know, but if not, give us a call. Thanks.